Okay, level 2 is finding the slope given 2 points or given an equation. So from last objective, we found that we could find the slope using rise over run. So how far up do you go and how far over do you go to find another point on the graph. In the level 4s, another way that we found slope was between 2 points, and we used an equation in order to do that. We said the change in y over the change in x, or in math terms, that means that you're finding the difference in the y values and then the difference in the x values. So we can say y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now it doesn't matter which point you label as x2 and y2 or x1 and y1 as long as you stay consistent. And I'll show you what that means here in this first example. So this point would be x1, y1, x2, y2. Now I could have done, put these as 2's. I could have said this is 2 and this is 1 and that's 1. Okay, so it does, like I said, it doesn't matter what you do as x1 and x2 as long as you stay consistent. You can't have like in one coordinate point a 1 and a 2. So like this one can't be a 1 and that can't be a 2. So you got to stay consistent. If the x is 1, the y is going to be 1. So first coordinate is x, second coordinate is y, first coordinate is x, second coordinate is y. So now what we're going to do is going to go ahead and follow that rule of y2, which was 3, minus y1, and I always put the second number in parentheses, and then x2 minus x1. So then I'm going to go ahead and simplify. 3 minus 1 is 2, and 5 minus 2 is 3. And always to check if you can simplify. Here you can't, so you're just going to leave it as 2/3. Okay, I am going to encourage you to pause the video right now and see if you can try the next 6. So go ahead and grab a scratch piece of paper and see what you can do. And then play the video to check your work. Okay, so walking through the next ones, we got 5 minus 3 over 2 minus 8. So 5 minus 3 is 2, 2 minus 8 is -6, and I can reduce that to say -1/3. And it doesn't matter where you put the negative, you can put the negative on the top, you can put the negative on the bottom, or you can put the negative just out in front. It does not matter. Number 3, I'm going to start with the 2 first, just because. 2 minus -1 over 9 minus 3. 2 minus -1 is like adding, so it's going to be 3. Whoops, kind of screwed this one up down here. It should be 9 minus 3. There we go. Okay, over 6, and that is going to reduce to 1 over 2. Okay, number 4. We got 1 minus 1 over -4 minus -8. 1 minus 1 is 0. Over -4 minus -8 is a +4. 0 over 4 is 0. Okay, remember that water bottle trick that I taught you? The water bottle can rest on a table, but you can't rest the table on the water bottle, if you remember that. Okay, number 5. We've got now 5 minus 1 over -7 minus -3. It is so important that you put parentheses around that second number because it's just going to teach you to remember to subtract those negatives. It makes a huge difference as we move forward. It's going to catch a lot of mistakes for you. So 5 minus 1 is 4. -7 minus -3 is going to be -4. So this is going to reduce to 1. Number 6, last but not least, 5 minus 2 over -4 minus -4. This is going to be 3 over 0. Remember, when the 0 is on the bottom, it is undefined. So I hope you did okay with those. Those are just going to take some practice, and just like I said, remember those parentheses on that second number. It's going to help you to remember to subtract the negatives. Okay, now going on to the next part of the level 2s is I can figure out a slope from given an equation. So remember from last objective we talked about this form of y equals mx plus b, where m represents the slope x is just x, and b is the y-intercept. Okay, so we can tell a lot of things from an equation. You always look at the number in front of the x to determine what the slope is. So in this one, it's a number in front, which is just 9. You could say 9 over 1. We never say 9x, it's just the number. And the y-intercept is going to be negative 2. You could write this as a point, since technically it is a point of 0, negative 2, because it's on the y-axis. Excuse me. But I'm fine either way. Second one, we got y equals negative 4/3 x plus 4, so your slope is going to be negative 4/3. Again, it doesn't matter where you put the negative as long as you just have one negative. And the y-intercept will be 4, or you could write 0, 4 as the point. Okay, now looking at 3, it's a little bit different than how 2 looked. We want to solve for y, so we got to do a little bit of work here in number 3 to solve for y. So I want to get this guy by itself. In order to do that, I want to make this x term 0. So I'm going to subtract x from both sides of the equal sign. And this is going to be 0. That's what I want. I'm going to bring down the negative 2y. Now, negative 4 and negative x are not like terms, so I'm going to leave those two separate. I can't combine them. And then once again, to get the y completely by itself, I'm going to divide things by negative 2. And I got to divide everything by negative 2. So now those are gone. You got y equals... Pretend there's a 1 in front. Negative 1 divided by negative 2 is just 1 over 2. And then you still have the x. And negative 4 divided by negative 2 is positive 2. So this will simplify into 1/2 x plus 2. So your slope is going to be 1/2, and your y-intercept is going to be 2, or the point 0, 2. So that's the second part of the level 2s. Again, something that we might have done in the level 4s from last week. So you got a little bit of exposure to that one. And last but not least, a couple of these are just a little bit tricky because you got to solve for y. So go ahead and try these on your own and then play the video to check your work. So I'm going to go ahead and go through 4. So I want to get y by itself, so I need to get the 30 away so it becomes 0. So again, left side does not have like terms, so I get negative 5x minus 30 equals negative 10y. I'm going to divide everything by negative 10. Negative 5 divided by negative 10 is a positive 1/2. Negative 30 divided by negative 10 is positive 3. And I just have a y left over. So the slope here is going to be 1/2. Y-intercept is going to be 3, or the point 0.03. Moving over to number 5, again, y by itself. I want to get the 3x on the left to be 0. So this is going to be 0. I'm going to bring down 5y, not like terms on the right-hand side. I'm going to divide everything by negative 5. 3 over negative 5 can't reduce. So I'm going to leave it as negative 3/5. And then plus 3, because negative 15 divided by negative 5 is 3. So your slope is negative 3/5. Your y-intercept is going to be 3, or 0.3. And last but not least, we have fractions, but not to worry, it's not so bad. I'm going to divide it, or subtract the 1/2 x over. So I have negative 4y equals negative 1/2 x plus 4 over 11. And now I'm going to divide everything by negative 4. And you can use your calculators to help you. So you're going to get y equals, let's see, 1/8 x, and it's positive. This is going to be negative 1 over 11. So like I said, you can totally use your calculators for that. I encourage you to. I'm not sure why that guy got moved, didn't come back up here, but so your slope is going to be 1/8, and then your y-intercept is going to be negative 1/11, or you can write it as a point 0, negative 1/11. Either way is fine. So those are all of the level 2s that you might come across. So go ahead and try the practice.